Delete may also want to edit some of these videos. Maybe. I don't know. She kind of said maybe she would do it. So that way I can turn this into a YouTube video and get my feet wet with that a little bit. Cool. I also want to make sure I have everything I need. I've got the iFixit screwdriver kit. That'll be important if I want to fix these. I probably won't put this one back together. And this one I have to take apart to probably remove the SSD and reinstall Windows. It'll be kind of fun there. Let's go to the Lenovo, because the Lenovo here does not have any power. So let's try to see if we can rectify that. It also does not have a drive in it. So drive and power. Now, if y'all saw my setup video, you'll know that I've got a power strip right within arm's reach. So that allows me to repair computers in the comfort of my own chair. Powers are here. I'm assuming this is one. It's just a Lenovo AC adapter. That's what I'd like to use. Okay, well that speaker just came out. That's fine. They do that. If we're lucky, I'm just going to open this. Let's see the power button on this guy. Okay. Power button's over there. It's a little bit different because it doesn't have the bottom case on, so you don't have the actual button. One of these is the reset, one of these is the power. I pressed one, it should turn on. Okay, all right, cool. Let's see, default boot device missing or boot failed. Dude, this is pretty sweet. Both these laptops probably just have, they're missing the drive. It does have a little bit of battery life left into it. So we're just gonna turn this guy off. And we're going to just go ahead and add in a drive. It's got room for an NVMe drive, or what I'm assuming is an NVMe. It's from 2018. It's most likely NVMe. And then a standard SATA drive. Just an NVMe. It already has Windows 10 on it. So in theory, we just put this in here in the slot and open it. And we might be able to get boot right to Windows 10. I might have to do some configuration. I'll probably reinstall Windows 11 on this guy. It's going to self-configure to Windows 10. Okay, well, this is going to be an easy... I was expecting like some, actual diagnostics that I have to tear through and work on with this computer. Not just, okay, boom, we've got an operating system. So I guess I can work on maybe installing Windows 11 on here. It's almost like this is the plan. Like, look how good I am at repairing computers. It magically works right away. I went ahead and did shift with my restart. So that way it will allow me to use the device. I'm going to go ahead and use that EFI USB device. And that should allow me to boot to a Windows 11 bootloader, to format the drive, reinstall Windows 11, and then we should be good to go. System doesn't have any USB boot options. All right. Well, maybe this USB device is bad. Let's try that one down there. So if top is power, then the bottom one is probably give me the repair options to go into a USB. So we got normal startup, BIOS menu, boot menu. And okay, so this is not showing USB. This is, oh, that's because this is the wrong USB. This is the wrong USB. The wrong one. This is the right one. Not this one. This one. Can't you tell the difference? Turn it off again. And then go back there. Okay. And then let's say it was on arrow keys. There we go. Now it sees the UEFI drive. Is touch going to work? Yep. I got to do this watching myself. All right. Did I get it? No. There we go. Got it. Next. Custom. This drive just has all these different partitions on it because this is what holds the Windows files. We're just going to go ahead and delete all of these so that way it gets rid of everything that was on this drive. Makes it a completely blank, unallocated drive. Just go to next, and this will install the latest version of the Windows 11 ISO. Then we'll go through the setup tasks and all that yada yada. Just won't connect it to network. Shoot. This little USB to Ethernet dongle that will allow me to get internet from where I'm at without having to connect to my Wi-Fi every single time. Dongle. I've got so many dongles, yo. There we go. Configure. But this one will probably just be set once Windows is installed. It'll get all the updates, all the drivers. This is downloading and installing all these updates. We're just going to go ahead and set this one over to the side. And then let's get this HP over here. So this is just an HP Envy. Should have a battery power life to it, if I'm not mistaken. But this is quite a nice laptop. I don't remember the history on it. I think it just wasn't recognizing the drive because the drive went bad. I'm pretty sure the slot is okay. The same thing here, like, no boot device found. Please insert a boot device on your system. So easy enough. This was already locked and loaded with the Phillips head. Just remove these. We got 8 Phillips head screws that are underneath these little adhesive pads that are always junk and they come off. And then we have 1 security screw, a T5 security screw that blends in, that is more of a trap than anything else. Because why make it so that you can repair your stuff easily? See, if I'm gonna move over here, I need the microphone to be able to follow me. It's possible that a microphone mounted on the wall, like a boom mic or something, could work a little bit better. Can you even see it? Right there is where that security T5 screw is at. So I just like to open it, apply a little bit of pressure, pop it out, and then boom, back cover comes out. Most laptops now open in this way where the back cover just pops right off. Everybody took a play out of Apple's playbook to do it in that way. It's kind of nice. It's nicer when you can just access like maybe 2 screws for a drive and pull that out, or be able to access the RAM in more of an easy fashion. But this is a nice i7 computer. If these are equal DIMMs, then we are dealing with, let's see here, 16 gigs of RAM total. So that's not too bad. And then we got the SSD here. That is a NVMe based drive from Intel. It's an Intel Optane, and Optane is absolute garbage because what Optane does is it takes a volume, like a 500 gig SSD volume, but raids it with a 32 gig proprietary Intel Optane volume. And that makes that extremely difficult to get data off of it. So that means that if this drive goes bad, you can't pull it off and connect it to another device and get the data files that way. It means you have to either explore data recovery or have another HP with Optane enabled in a RAID configuration, hope that it can rebuild itself and go from there. So these are just always garbage. 32 gig Optane with 512 gig NAND, junk, junk, junk. Every single time. Don't use these. They're junk. I hate them. Every single time I get them, I hate them. Now I need another NVMe based drive. I've got this little pile of drives here. So from different systems that have been pulled. I mean, I don't know. If this is a good system, a 1 terabyte would be amazing in it. I've got a couple of these. I just don't like to use some of my old drives. I'd prefer to use like kind of a drive that has been pulled from something else. I think this 1 terabyte SSD here has been pulled from something else. So we'll just go ahead and see if it's got an operating system on it though. So that just slides in at an angle, goes down. There's a retention screw here, but that's only to hold it into place. You don't need it for doing the install testing. Unless you're new, then you probably want to do it. Plus, was there a sticker or was there a screw here? There was a screw. I think I put it in here, right? Yeah. So this way I don't lose it and I know that it's a different screw. I'm going to put it in place. DC jack is on the other side. We're just going to go ahead and turn this bad boy on. And it will either go into a Windows operating system or go into boot device error. Okay, so it's got a Windows 10 operating system on it already. I can tell by the loading screen. The one that has dots like that is Windows 10. If it's a smooth circle, then it's Windows 11. As long as this doesn't have any data on it, I'll do another fresh install. So preparing automatic repair. Who knows? Choose keyboard layout. Touch doesn't want to work. Oh, you know what? It probably doesn't recognize. Yeah, there's a thing that I need. It's chipset drivers. Because if I install this, it won't see the drive unless you install the Intel chipset drivers. It's mainly on HPs and like Lenovo's that require the chipset driver because they do a different packaging deal than what Windows has, even though it's the latest version of Windows. So it was trying to boot to Windows, so it can see that the drive is there, obviously. I'll probably just reinstall Windows on it as long as it's not too allocated. Let's see, F9 is boot menu for HPs. It does see that it shows the OS boot on top, the USB device, and then EFI file. So we're just going to go and boot to Windows 11 again and try for the best there. But see, if you boot to a flash drive sometimes like this, I have no trackpad and I have no key touch either. So I have to use the keyboard, which I'm used to doing that. So that's not too big of a deal, but it can be frustrating. If you get the drivers from HP and preload them onto the flash drive, then it can see it in that chipset and acknowledge the trackpad and everything there and the touchscreen. So, but it doesn't show the actual device. So that's normally when you'd go into browse, you find the UEFI, not that one, the Windows 11, and then there would be a chipset driver here that you'd have to get and then load it, and then it would see the drive, and then you can install Windows from there. I will just leave this one then for another day, because this one doesn't have any major problems either. It should just be we reinstall Windows, and we're golden on that one. And this is a nice i7, I think at least 16 gigs of RAM. Does it have dedicated graphics, or was it Intel? Just Intel Iris graphics, so nothing dedicated or anything like that. Make sure you follow me on TheDonTech, the YouTube, you know? Yeah. All right, see y'all on the other side. I'll give you a sneak peek as what's going to happen in another repair. What I've got here, and this is going to seem like biased to like problematic computers, I guess, right? I've got in a ton of pieces an HP laptop that is like the HP laptop that I just had. It's a little bit older. It's got an i7 and still an NVIDIA graphics. It's a pretty good laptop, but you might notice kind of in pieces, right? So this one had broken hinge mounts, but not just broken hinge mounts in one location, had broken hinge mounts in two different spots. So when you have hinges, that's this little piece right here, they wedge between the glass and the back of the LCD, the bezel here, and then they also get screwed into the underside of the base of the laptop. In, let's see, this one would probably go right about here-ish. This one broke in both spots on both hinges. So that's where a lot of epoxy is going to come into play, hopefully. And I'm hoping that I've got enough surface material, or maybe I can add some other stuff in here to secure it down, because I've got to secure it down on here and then secure the other hinge on the other side. And then I've got to do the same thing on this, because as you can see, I want to make sure I don't cause any more problems, but I've also, this has been taken apart. Okay, yeah, so that's no problem. So see, this is the touchscreen itself, and then this is the back cover of it, also missing the plastics. So, and then this just goes in with adhesive, so it's not that bad. But this is quite the intense project. It's probably not going to work, and you have a lot of lining up to do, that when you have the screw hole mounts in there, it's a lot easier because you can, you know, it lines up in that way. But if you're doing it with epoxy, you have to hope that it sits correct, because if it doesn't sit correct, yeah, you're not going to be able to close the laptop, and it's just going to be all wonky. So that's going to be like a multi-day process, because you have to do the epoxy. You want it to cure for at least a day or two. And then, you know, so maybe I'll do, and since I'm dealing with a hinge for this laptop, I can only do either the top or the bottom at a time. So that will be the fun part. But otherwise, the laptop functions. So if I can take this laptop and fix it, you know, it's a nice little laptop. Otherwise, repairing it is not really feasible, because you have to buy a whole new upper piece here, which is the keyboard, everything you see, the trackpad. You have to buy this entire piece, transplant all these components into that, and then you have to buy a whole new screen. Yes. I can sit here looking like a doofus. What did I say I was going to test first? This one? Or this one? It is what it is. Who cares? Who cares? Got really offended for a second there. I don't know if I need any background music, though. If that would add anything. I've got no idea. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no earthly idea. Should I zoom in? I don't know.